Hello, everybody. Looking at that hair, it could only mean one thing. The great Billy Body is in the house. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch with a little nitty gritty dirt show preview. What is going on, Billy, my friend?
Lots to talk about this week in terms of centering around one particular topic. Well, the combination of the Rumble and WrestleMania, and some big arguments I had this week, even with brand members, I think. I had one guy say to me, hey, you know you're right. We know you're right all the time, but just be the bigger man and say you were wrong. It's like,
bro, you can never be wrong, Billy. Come on, what are you?
Let me just clear that up for you. I'm never wrong, and I'm never right, because I'm not talking to anybody in the WWE. You can only be wrong if you are formulating. You are saying that something is. So if I go over to logbetting.com and I tell you this certain team is going to win. Right, there's going to be an outcome to that, which is right or wrong. When things in wrestling are as they are and things are changing all of the time, I can't be wrong. Essentially, also, all I'm doing is reporting what someone tells me. So I'm only like making public the conversations that I have. So I can't be right. I can't be wrong. So when people turn around and go, "Oh, you know, you're the best. You're always right about it," that's not. They're always right about everything. That's not necessarily correct either, because I'm only getting it from source. And as I've said previously, I'm going to talk much more about this on the other side. I've not revealed who my sources are, but I have revealed how you get a source. And it doesn't involve just having a shitty website or some 1099 newsletter and offering nothing back in return. We are all part of a situation which arose several years ago, where there became opportunities to bet on what the wrestling results would be. Mm-hmm. And for the past 10 years, one of those results, which has been 100% consistent, is the person who is the favorite to win the Men's Royal Rumble when the show starts will win the Royal Rumble. It is a 100% statistic, and I deal in statistics, not bullshit. So that is what has happened every single year. This year, the 20-1 underdog Seth Rollins, who wasn't even, so when we're sending out screenshots, Vince, of we're saying when we're doing our preview shows, we didn't even mention Seth Rollins' name. We talked about Daniel Bryan. We talked about if Keith Lee was going to make it. We talked about Edge. We talked about maybe Drew losing to Goldberg and then re-entering the Royal Rumble and facing Roman because he had better odds than Seth Rollins. We did not talk about anybody as far out as 20-1. When a 20-1 person becomes the favorite before the show starts, that means significant insider money has gone on to that person to make him the favorite. It happens every single year. When Randy Orton became the favorite, nobody was picking Randy Orton to win the Rumble. It was between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. They were the two betting favorites throughout the week. So I'm going to break down the history of betting favorites. I'm going to break down the outcome of the Rumble. I'm going to break down what I heard. And yeah, I was wrong about saying my prediction, saying that it was going to be Bianca Belair and Daniel Bryan, because I'd heard that Daniel Bryan was going to be facing Roman, and that was the logical person that would win the Rumble. He also had the story going in. I was concerned, and I addressed my concerns with Vince on the last show when I saw Edge turning up on Monday Night Raw, because I had heard a completely different story about when Edge would return and what that storyline would be. Again, I'm going to talk about it on the other side. It was a pretty wacky, crazy storyline, and it was leading to Edge versus Orton. It was not leading towards Edge challenging for any kind of title. So I was concerned when I saw Edge turn up on Monday that he could only have been there to win the Royal Rumble. But that is documented proof. You can hear that on the other side. Plus, one thing else I want to point out, me and Austin, my 10-year-old son, did a preview show on the Royal Rumble, and he picked every single result right, including the Men's Royal Rumble winner. So maybe I should hand over this show and the website and everything to a 10-year-old who could take over, then I don't have to deal with some of you people.
Well, Billy, let me tell some of these people something. First of all, Joe Foe in the Ring live on YouTube is saying, even when he's wrong, he's right. I like that, Bill. Even when you're wrong, you're right. And then Alchemist just gave us a $5 donation, Billy. He says, love you, Vince. Happy late birthday. Billy, keep being awesome. Bro, look, hold on. Let me clarify things here about the great Billy Body. Bro, a couple of weeks ago, lockbetting.com shit the bed in the NFL playoffs. Bro, you came on this show and said, we shit the bed. Like, you don't have to come on here and say, we shit the bed. Bro, you came on this show and said, bro, we shit the bed. I don't want to hear anybody ever say that you say you're never freaking wrong. Bro, give me a break. I don't know how many shows Billy and I have done together. Bro, you have said you were wrong and made a mistake or was given the wrong information or your pick on a game was, bro, you have said that more times, being honest and being upfront, than I think Dave Meltzer has said in a freaking 30-year career. So I don't want to ever hear, Billy is not the guy who can admit that he was wrong. Bro, bullshit. I don't ever want to hear that. You're not.
And that's the difference. I'll take responsibility for gambling tips. In fact, I often talk about the expectation is that I will win. And every month at the end of the month, on the first or the start of the next month, or the first or second, we've just done it. Lockbetting.com made a £1,890 profit. And I'll talk about it. I'll say, sign up now. We've just made a profit. But throughout the month, I will mostly be talking about things that went wrong, because that's more of a story, like where I was surprised by this result or that result, or explaining, why you went in a direction you went and why you felt it would play out and why you were wrong about it. When I'm right, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say because I analyzed things correctly and we ended up going as. So you do always end up talking more about being wrong than right. But in this instance, this show, my wrestling website, everything I do in wrestling, if I break a story or I give out information which has largely been correct 90% of the time, it's not me being right and it's not me being wrong. It's me giving out what was said in conversations that I was privy to. Now, this has been a process that's been massively successful for the last 4 years. I'm not going to run through the list of the stories that I've broken because I already gave that list to the man sitting here. And this guy looked through that and decided that he wanted to put me on this show. So the historical data is there if you want to do the work.
Billy, do you know, you don't even know this because the show hasn't even aired yet. On Mondays, Castrating the Marks. Do you know, Billy, hey, Austin, what's going on? For the first time in the history, 7-year history of Russo's brand, first time, I've never done this before. We just came off of Castrating the Marks, where they're all talking about absolute bullshit. Every single one of them, right? Bro, I said to everybody on Castrating the Marks, I said, I've never done this before. I said, you guys want to hear a real journalist? You want to hear real news? You want to hear how things are broken down and analyzed? I said, I offered Billy a money back guarantee. I said, guys, I am telling you, pay the $3, listen to Billy break down the Peacock deal. This is what a journalist does. You've just heard these guys on the show. You heard the absolute bullshit they're talking about. I want you now, invest the $3. Go listen to Billy break down this deal. I offered a money back guarantee. Billy, last week's show was the most fascinating show to me.
How did that show go? Did you do the show with I handed you my notes this week and you did that with Disco. What was it?
I didn't even get into it with him because we argued for 30 minutes.
Oh, because I wanted to hear what he had to say.
but yeah. So I never, ever, ever offered a money back guarantee. Billy, so we're going to talk about all that on the other side. And bro, I was telling people all along, bro, you know what I was saying to people all along? Here's what I was saying. I got your news, and I was saying, guys, from what I saw and the naked eye, I can't believe for a second there was a botch and Rollins was supposed to go over. And I said, I pointed out a couple things, but I pointed out, number one, he got tossed out of the ring. It wasn't a slip up. And the second thing I laid out was the way they laid out that finish with Orton, where they made it look like he was going to win at the last minute, and then Edge. I don't think they would have done that spot first, and then they would have continued on with Rollins. But this is what I said. I said, so my belief is, not having any inside information or anything, looking at that finish, I think that finish went according to plan. But you know what I said, bro? Here's what I said. I want to listen to what Billy has to say. I said, because I'll tell you what, when Billy comes on the show and explains things, I may look at it completely differently. I said, I'm just telling you what it looked like to me, but I can't wait to hear Billy, because I want to hear that's how credible that I know you are. But Billy, I want to talk to you about, you're going to get a little kick out of this, because I got very upset at an old friend of yours this week, and Vic Venom went loose for 40 minutes, bro. Billy, you're a big TV star over there in the UK. A lot of people don't realize that here in the States. Billy was on Big Brother in the UK.
Now, I'm not a star now, but yeah, at the time,
huge. You can look up a very young Billy Body on Big Brother. Billy, you know celebrity. You know how things work. You know, bro, how they can take an individual, or they can take a band, and now, either record companies or television networks, they put him in the system, and they all of a sudden, with numbers and, buying likes and buying downloads, like they can make it look like somebody is an absolute icon by building him that way. I mean, bro, this goes all the way back to the Beatles. They say that.
Let me just say something about that, because that has hurt the amount of people that can be celebrities has hurt the people that were before. So when I did Big Brother back in 2007, when we just had MySpace and Facebook and Twitter wasn't around yet, we were a part of one of the 2 or 3. You have to do that. We're a part of. We're a part of 2 or 3 reality TV shows with Big Brother, X Factor, where you got the singing contract at the end, and there was Shipwrecked, which was out at the time, but that was pre-taped. So when you did the show, you were one of 12 to 15 people that did a reality show, and there were 10 X Factor contestants. There was only 25. There wasn't 7 or 8 reality shows going on at one time, and then there wasn't this ability to make yourself an Instagram celebrity or Insta famous or whatever it is. Therefore, our fees for everything that we did was so much higher. I would charge £1,500, which is over $2,000, to turn up to a nightclub and to be seen wanting to go out there and basically going on the mic and saying I was there and taking some pictures with people in a VIP area. $1,500 a night, and sometimes on the weekend I would get that twice. So if I was in somewhere like Leicester, and then I would be able to go to Nottingham, as long as I turned up to Leicester at 11 p.m. and got to Nottingham by 1 a.m., I would be seen in 2 venues, and my agent would pick up £3,000 for me for the night for going out. That was because there were only 25 reality TV show celebrities for the year. The Big Brother people that came out of the last show, the last one that there was, the winner of the show was getting £300 as the winner, and I didn't win. So all of this mass celebrity that you're talking about has destroyed the income of all of the people, because if so and so doesn't do a story for £1,000, and I would get 2,000 or 3,000 to talk about anything. So, but nowadays, if somebody doesn't want to do a story for 1,000 or 1,000 or 500 or even less, then there are 100 other celebrities that will just do it for lesser money.
Hold on, Billy. Alchemist Bear donated another $5, and he said for the Austin cameo, the kid is a genius. So I owe Austin $2.50. Tell Austin I'll split that money with him. All right, Billy. And we all know when it comes to downloads and likes and followers and viewers and all this, bro, we know you can buy those numbers. Okay. So, bro, I had to crack up and I got hot. I'll tell you why I got hot. Your friend, a lot of people consider you guys twin brothers. Ryan Satin.
Oh.
Hold on, Billy, I got hot. And Billy, here's the sad thing. I know I'm opening up a whole can of worms with this guy. I know the reason the second I mention his name, he's going to have everybody say Vince is a racist. I know exactly, but I couldn't help myself this time. Bro, first of all, the guy appears on the Fox network gimmick. First of all, Billy, keep this in mind. He's wearing a WWE hat. Okay? He then goes on to tell us, Billy, how uncool and unhip we all are if we didn't know who Bad Bunny was. So, bro, here's a grown-ass man wearing a wrestling hat that's about as uncool as you can get. And he's telling me and everybody else, you guys are so uncool. You're so unhip. You didn't know who Bad Bunny was. Shut down and then shut up. And then, bro, he goes on to talk about Bad Bunny's 8.3 billion downloads. Like, bro, this goof doesn't even understand that people like Bad Bunny, rappers like Bad Bunny, are manufactured by the wrestling labels, and you can buy downloads and streamings and followers and this and that to give somebody the illusion of being a huge star. So this guy,
especially now, because when I just thought to interrupt you, when we were older, CDs, singles used to be about $4 or $5, and you were genuinely top of the charts. Now a download is 99 cents, right, for a single. So you can be the number one artist because the record company can invest $10 million in buying 10 million singles for 99 cents, right? So it's easy.
Billy, it's the same way. This is how they've been doing this since the beginning of time. Bro, writers get on the New York Times bestseller list because the publisher of the book buys X amount of copies themselves to get that person on the bestseller. Bro, this has been going on since the freaking 1900s. This guy actually believes Bad Bunny's numbers are legit. And then he's going to sit there and tell us, bro, how uncool and bro, how cool and hip is Ryan Satin, Billy, coming from a guy that's as cool and hip as they come. How cool and hip is Ryan Satin to tell us how uncool and unhip we are?
I don't need to say anything. You need to go and watch anything he does and watch him open his mouth for 2 minutes and just watch him just suck off every wrestler he does an interview with. He hasn't got the balls to ask one single intriguing question. That's probably why he's got himself into the position he is, or maybe his dad asked for it for him because we know who he is. But yeah, he's not cool at all. It does something to me just to hear the name. It angers me to hear just the name. I can feel my fist clenching when I hear
this name. Guy's Billy. Let's do the math here. He's talking about how uncool and unhip we are because we don't know Bad Bunny, who's got 8.3 million downloads, whatever the hell, billion, bro. Meanwhile, Billy, we all know the Raw after a big pay-per-view. Bro, the number is always higher than the previous week. Oh, the Raw after WrestleMania, the Raw after Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, it's always a higher number. Okay?
I know exactly what you're going to say, but I'll let you say.
Well, this week, bro, this week, 70,000 people watched Raw this week. More people watched Raw than last week. 70,000. So of course, bro, okay, we already know more people tuned in because the Royal Rumble was the night before. We already know that. But putting that aside, you mean to tell me a guy that has 8.3 billion downloads only brought 70,000 people? Where are the other 8.25 billion people? Go ahead, bro. I can't believe this guy actually believes those numbers, bro. It blows my mind.
Well, Austin just told me. Is that right? Is that
There's like 7.5 billion people in the world.
Okay. According to him, to the 10-year-old, there isn't 8.2 billion people in the world. He's telling me it's 7.5. You sure I'm right?
It's probably gone to like 7.7 or something.
Okay. Well, we lost loads of people from COVID, so maybe we're down. So he's saying that, and second, you've made me forget what I was going to say. By saying that, but yeah, the thing is, okay, so I remembered. The increase wouldn't have been anything to do with him. The increase would have been because it's the night after the pay-per-view, and you're also looking at a number that the company were massively disappointed with. They did a 1.8 this week on Raw. Just touching between 1.8 and 1.9. I think it was 1.8, somewhere around 0.85. There's no way they will be pulling in that number for what the show that they call the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, because we've seen like the WrestleMania shows. The show after the Rumble is high, and then we have little peaks the nights after pay-per-views. The go home show does well. Traditionally, on a 6-week build, they do something big the night after the final pay-per-view, which will be Fastlane. Then they have a week off, and always when there's 20 days left, that second to last one, or sometimes it's 13 days left, they pop a huge number on one of those shows, the 20 days left or the 13 days left. I don't know what a huge number is for this company anymore, but doing a 1.8 for the Rumble show is appalling. Like, I don't, and yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know how involved he was on his social media and whatnot. I haven't checked it because I wasn't prepared for this question. But you would think there would be something at least retweeted on his social media about this, and all of his following would have gravitated towards Raw to see this guy who they follow and buy his music to do something physical on a free platform, on a free channel.
Meanwhile, Billy, when you look at the downloads from the Raw show, like every segment had like 1 million downloads, including him. So his segment had the same downloads as Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. There were no additional millions of additional downloads, where his fans found out later on, oh my God, he was on the WWE, and then they go and check out the video. But regardless of that, this guy telling us, Ryan Satin, how uncool and unhip we are. Oh, bro, come on, man. All right, Billy, so tell me, give us a little preview. So we're going to talk about, I can't wait to hear your breakdown of this whole scenario with Rollins and Edge and winning the Rumble and all this. Any other little tidbits? Bro, I heard this week Lars Sullivan got released, and I just heard today Riker. I love this dude. I worked with this dude. I just heard today that he got released. Did you hear anything about that yet?
It wasn't Justin Wright. It wasn't Riker. It was one of the. No, it was someone from the group, but it wasn't Riker, and it wasn't Wesley Blake. It was the other guy.
Oh, okay. Because somebody told me today it was Riker. Okay, all right, and it was not.
No, Riker. Gunner's okay. Gunner's still there.
Okay,
It's one of the guys that was with Corbin. So yeah, there's releases. There's new deals that have been signed this week. I'm going to clear up the Raw Rumble confusion. Look at plans for WrestleMania. As I said, wrestling community, what sums them up is, for about 4 weeks, even before like it was clear on TV, I was saying that Bianca Belair was going to win. Right. And you can get that was at far larger odds. That Daniel Bryan was a very, very short. What odds was Bryan when it started?
4-1.
No, when it closed. No, during the week it was like the easy.
It was 4-1.
No, it wasn't 4-1. 4-1 by after Rollins was favorite. What was Bryan? At the start, of the start of the week. It was like evens, wasn't it?
It was like 2-2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah. So Brian was a significant favourite, and Bianca Belair was not a significant favourite. She was a second favourite behind Alexa Bliss, and then was a joint favourite throughout the rest of the week. But people won't talk about it. So we'll talk about the Royal Rumble confusion, how one Rumble was determined, both Rumbles were determined 6 weeks ago, and how one completely stayed as it was, and how one had so much chaos. And I'm not just talking about them deciding to hold things off on Brian. I'm talking about different winners and plans and things throughout the entire week. So I'll break that down. And talk about a new guy that WWE and NXT have signed. I'm going to talk about people that have signed in new deals and someone that hasn't. And I'm going to go very, very quickly before we think this is a big hook on the show. It isn't. We're going to quickly run through the fourth quarter financials. Like I've picked out some stuff from it, but not a lot, because it really is not. It's really not spectacular. It just reaffirms some of the stuff we've spoken about on the main show before. So we'll just talk about it again and how these current numbers strengthen that position in opinion.
All right, Billy, big weekend for you, man. Lockbetting.com. We got the Super Bowl. Billy, what do they call those things again, where it's all the other subcategories? Who's going to score first? What do they call those again?
Props. And that was the thing. I was going to talk about props because my clients at lockbetting.com won every single pick on the Royal Rumble. So essentially, what?
No. You said Daniel Bryan was going to win.
Yes, I'm saying that every pick other than that one.
Oh, I said Edge was going to win.
Don't interrupt me again, please. You're going to talk in it. You can boast about what you did.
Austin's putting himself over, bro. Come on.
Yeah, Austin did a podcast where he picked every result of the Royal Rumble. That's all he wants me to say. I've already said it when he wasn't here. He thinks I'm not putting him over enough. Listen, you're going to get to talk in a second, and you're going to bring that box over. And okay, all right. So he'll be on in 2 minutes. I'll get out of the way. Sit. Okay. So lockbetting. So yeah, lockbetting.com. Essentially, when you look at what happened at the Royal Rumble, we were wrong about taking Daniel Bryan, and we were also wrong about changing Daniel Bryan to Seth Rollins. But apart from the men's Royal Rumble winner, we hit every other result, every parlay from the main card, and we had Bianca Belair at big odds as well. So essentially, that's comparable to what we're going to do this week on a Super Bowl. Like if we hit the winner of the Super Bowl and we don't hit the over under, but we hit 5 or 6 props, are the gambling community going to complain that we went 5-1?
Yes.
Only the wrestling community would do it.
Right.
Only the wrestling community would do it. But this weekend, we're 100% hoping for a 5-1 week. We would take that 100%. So we will be releasing our prop bets, our winner. We may have a play on the total. Me and Cav are going to break everything down later on. We're going to do a free podcast over at the Dirty Sheets, and then you'll get like my official picks at the weekend. But also, we've now got 14 out of 15 winning days in the tennis, with the ATP Cup going on at the moment and the Australian Open coming up. We're winning nearly every single night in the NBA with our NBA picks and props, and the NHL as well. Never played NHL before at lockbetting.com other than this season, where I've got a new guy. And here's another thing, because I don't do all of the sports. That would be disingenuous for me to add things to my service if I'm unable to eloquently come on and talk about it. When it comes to soccer or tennis or NFL or cricket or boxing or UFC, I can talk about every part of that at length and do lengthy podcasts about them and hold a discussion with anybody and win people money. I cannot do that about baseball. I cannot do that about the NHL. I cannot do that about any college sports, basketball or American football. So what I did is I brought people in, everybody that works for me. I track their results for an entire year. They have to show a full season of profit. I needed my MLB guy, before he did MLB and KBO, he needed to show a full profit for an MLB season before he came on and worked the MLB.
Yeah, I tried to get in there and you shut me down, bro. You told me I got to prove myself. I'm Vince Russo, for crying out loud, Billy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think maybe we'll get you in as like celebrity picks or something. But yeah, that's the thing. So I don't do all of these sports. So the NHL guy who did this, who did what he's doing now behind closed doors last year, is now doing it for real this year, where everybody's now receiving the picks. I knew was good because I watched him send me the picks for a year before he got his job. So that's what we do over at lockbetting.com. We are making money in every sport, and it's right at the start of the month. It's the best time to sign up to Russo's brands, best time to sign up to lockbetting.com, to use a Patreon too. So why sign up on the 10th, 15th, 20th when you're only going to get half the month or whatever? So sign up now, get your Valentine's Day money, and if you've got a girlfriend, get something decent. I'm talking to wrestling fans, so probably not.
Yeah. All right, Travis Berg with a $4 donation. Thank you, Travis. Okay, let's talk about Dirty Sheets, and then we'll talk about Podcast on a Pole. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, the Dirty Sheets is where I break down all of my news. You can get a betting package there for UFC, wrestling, and boxing. And then once the news is out, me and Vince will talk about it here on the show. So there is a story up about Rollins, me believing that Rollins was supposed to win and why. And the explanation that I got the next day, because look, when that didn't happen, do you not think I sent a message out going, what the hell happened?
Right, of course.
It's never happened to us before. It hasn't happened to us in 10 years. So we obviously sent a message out going, what happened? Because there was a significant financial investment by people, not just me, but a lot more people than myself. So obviously we asked what happened. So yeah, I can tell you what happened. But yeah, that's where we put the news out, and then me and Vince will break it down. But as I said, you can get the news first, but the breakdown is here. And if you're looking at that Peacock deal, which Vince has put over the explanation of it, you don't get that with the written word. So I mean, I do think that I sent you my notes. I don't know if you thought they were good or bad.
Yeah, no, they're great. Yeah, and I am going to use them, bro. I'm going to do a whole other show on that. Yes. Yep.
So essentially, you'll get the notes of the story, but here you get the discussion of the story over on the russosbrand.com. And yeah, Podcast on a Pole. Episode 3 is now available. It came out on the day of the Royal Rumble. This is the one where the format takes shape. We talk about January 1997, and that's going to continue to flow. February's episode is going to be about February 97. March's episode is going to be March 97. And we're going to now continue with this format for the next 3 years. And January is very, very interesting. It's very much very much paints the picture of where Vince was 1 month before. And he's already working his ass off doing so many other jobs. He's already doing Raw magazine. He's previously been the editor of WWF magazine. He's already working as a producer. He's already doing 12, 14, 16-hour days already in the company. But there's lots of inside information there about already the feelings are coming to the surface, and the issues are surfacing with Sean and Brett. There's stories about where Austin's position in the company at the time. We talk about the Royal Rumble, the huge Royal Rumble 97 in the stadium, Psycho Sid. Why nobody wants to work with Vader, why Vince Russo didn't like Todd Pettengill. Still pops him. It still pops you. But yeah,
you're never gonna get over the Todd Pettengill thing, huh, bro?
I just think it's really surprising to people because he's just so Mr. Radio.
Well, listen, bro. I've said this, bro. At that time in New York, Todd worked for WPLJ, which was the hottest radio station at the time. So Todd had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and rightfully so. I've said that, bro. Now you got to keep in mind the guy's on the #1 radio station in New York. And at that time, bro, wrestling was not over. So when he came to work for the WWE, I felt that Todd had a little bit of an attitude of like, I'm better than this and this is beneath me.
But that's the thing. When you hear that about radio presenters and also comedians some people say the same thing about them. When you hear it, I've heard it a lot more often because when I was doing Big Brother, around that scene, the famous British comedians would be around. Like Austin's seen some pictures of a guy that's really big on TV now. He's in a show that Austin likes, and I used to hang out with him on the weekends. But I've heard it about loads of people, like comedians are dicks. Comedians are like massive dicks once they're not on stage, and so I think it kind of fell into that category for me, where you're surprised by it, because obviously growing up as a child, he's this the happy face and of mania. Probably, I imagine some was right up Vince McMahon's street. I imagine that he built Pettingill as the prototype of what he wanted moving forward. I was surprised, knowing that, I'm surprised he left. Yeah. Because if you look at the way Michael Cole has been molded as Michael Cole and how everybody follows on, they're just molding more and more Michael Coles. So once Vince likes something, he likes something. Yeah.
Billy, we didn't talk about this, and you might have to smarten me up on it a little bit, because, bro, I don't know who this person is, bro. You see the wrestler who just made a transgender change. You know anything? I didn't know who this guy was. I didn't know him.
Yeah, Tyler Rex. He was I think he was around in the mid 2000s
for the WWE.
Yeah, sorry, no, it was late. Yeah, later than that, actually. The early from 2010 to 2015, around about that time, I think. Yeah, he was a.
Did he get a lot of TV time during that time?
Should have got more, because he had a good look and whatnot. But yeah, he didn't.
And there was no story going on about this change. I mean, did this come out of nowhere, or did people know? Did people know?
I think it came out of nowhere. The last thing he put out that I remember seeing from him was he was getting heat at the start of COVID for taking a video where he walked around a supermarket without his mask on, and said that he wouldn't be forced to wear a mask. And then now he's suddenly a woman. So I don't know what's going on with that.
All right. What about Austin's toys? What's going on with young Austin, man?
He's here, actually.
Hi.
What's up, Austin? Look at that beautiful soccer jersey. Nice, bro. What's going on, Austin?
Austin's toys.
Yeah. It's my Instagram channel where I post about the signed toys I have.
What did you post about this week? It's in the box. You posted the stuff in the box. Go in the box.
Oh, crying out loud, Austin.
I posted the stuff that you sent me.
Yeah, what did you get? What did you get for Christmas and your birthday and being a great kid? What did you get? Being an all-around great kid. Wow, man, look at that. That's the most valuable one of the collection. Now I wanna add. What else?
Thank you so much for the gifts.
Oh, you're welcome, Austin. You know what I think of you, Austin. What else did you get? Oh, bro, look at that. That's one of my favorite all-time covers. Really, I love. Now, that was the cover, Billy, that had originally said Austin 316.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Look at that, bro. Look at that.
So that's a story you guys can hear about on the on this episode of Podcast on a Pole.
Yep.
Why that doesn't say, I'm pointing to the wrong bit. Why that doesn't say Austin 316.
Yep.
And here is the last one to
sign. Now you get Austin, he personally handed that to me, man. Mr. Warrior. He handed that to me and I handed it to you, bro, because you're a great kid.
Thank you so much.
How's your how we doing with school, Austin, on the computer? We doing okay with school?
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Come on, tell me the truth.
Don't lie, tell him the truth.
I'm doing fine on it.
All right, little discrepancy there. All right, well, Austin's Toys, check it out. Hey, bro, listen, man, you might want to take some of Austin's predictions, man. Undefeated this week at the undefeated, Austin, undefeated, every one.
Yep, I got every single one right. I said Drew was going to win. I said Roman would win. Bianca and Edge.
All right, let me ask you this now. I'm going to put you on the spot, Austin. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Edge going to wrestle at WrestleMania, Reigns or Drew? Drew. That's what you're going with, Drew. Who do you think Roman Reigns is going to be wrestling at WrestleMania?
Brian.
Daniel Bryan.
He No, Edge might face Finn Balor. I said he was on NXT.
Wait, someone from NXT.
Balor.
Oh, versus Reigns?
No, Balor v Edge.
Oh, Balor versus Edge.
Yeah, but I still think it's going to be McIntyre.
Yeah. Well, we'll see I don't know. Who knows what they're doing? They don't even know what they're doing, for crying out loud. All right, everybody, check out Austin's Toys. Austin, thank you.
You're interested in Drew and Sheamus?
Yes.
You are?
Kind of. But it's so obvious who's going to win.
Yeah.
It's not who's going to win the title.
But why is it obvious? That's what I was asking you, and you wrote it in your report.
It's just, they can't let Sheamus win because he can't even win at the moment, his basic scheduled matches.
Yeah, there you go. Austin knows, bro.
On Raw.
You're 11 now, right, Austin?
Pardon? No,
11? Oh, you just turned 10. Okay. All right. Yeah, Austin, that's coming from a 10-year-old kid that knows, bro. All right, Austin's Toys, everybody. All right, guys. See you later, Austin. We love you, man. All right, so Billy and we're going to jump over now to Nitty Gritty Dirt Show. Guys, that's on patreon.com/Russo TWC. We are going to get down to the men's Royal Rumble. I want to hear how Billy's week played out. It's going to be very, very interesting. That is it, everybody, for me and the great Billy Body. We will see you over at Patreon.